My dad likes to say that I was born to do what I do because I've always loved performing and entertaining people. He loves talking about how he used to join our staff in our little restaurant in the US and sing and dance numbers for our customers. And yes, he wasn't wrong. I loved it. I love making people smile. I still remember the day I officially became an artista. I still have my diary from my teenage years where I wrote down all my feelings from my early days in showbiz. One of my most memorable entries is about the day when I learned that I was finally going to be on TV. I clearly remember feeling giddy, excited, and hopeful. From that moment on, I knew that I wanted to become successful in what I do, even if I wasn't sure what that really meant. It's been 24 years since I started in the industry. That means I've been working for 24 years of long work hours, tight schedules, challenging roles and projects, and more. I'll have to admit that there were times that I wanted to give it all up. There were very hard days when my insecurities would get the best of me. I knew I didn't always fit in, I knew I wasn't like everyone else, and I did not even know if people liked me because I was a different one. But every time the thought of quitting would cross my mind, I'd remember the passion and drive that teenage girls who was discovered by a talent scout in a mall, and I'd pick myself up and try again. I've always known that nothing good comes easy, so I've lived my life working hard and just always being on the go. I'd say yes to work and commitments even when I was exhausted. I traveled and book trips even if it meant coming home for less than a day just to pack and hop on to another flight again. I'll admit at some point I felt unstoppable. I was excited with the possibilities that would come. The world was my oyster, as they say. Before 2020 started, I had big plans. I was ready to hit the streets of Paris and New York for Fashion Week. I had projects lined up that I was so excited for the world to see. I was ready to claim it as a great year, my year. But then the pandemic happened and everything was put on hold. The lockdown was tough for all of us. Personally, I struggled with anxiety, not knowing what was going to happen, what comes next, especially with work. I was terrified of the virus and how it really could affect everyone. For the first time, I had too much time on my hands. It felt like a nightmare as someone who likes to plan ahead and be busy. But one day I realized maybe I should just use this time and realign myself. And so I did. Quarantine has also gifted me with so much quiet time with Cheese and the kids in Sorsogon. I felt so blessed to be able to call another place home. It's much slower pace, quieter than the city that I'm used to, but that too I saw as a blessing. I found time to think of myself and my dreams. I finally had time to pursue my passion projects of helping local Sorsoganon artisans and their work through my online shop Maison Love Marie. I'm also so happy and blessed to be working again. Things are a lot different from how they used to be, but it's great to see how we've all figured out ways to adapt to the situation. Because, life goes on too. I'm lucky to be surrounded by people who've been a solid support system throughout all of this. We'll get through it. I know it. It was during quarantine that I also discovered some things that I put on hold. I was finally able to share my music to the world after 15 years of keeping it tucked away in a box in my storage room. I was also able to create new art. I was at my happiest on days when I did was wake up, drink coffee, and paint until late into the night. Above all, this time has reminded me what my top priority is: myself. I was once again reminded that I should make myself a priority, and that's okay. Practicing self-love isn't just all about hot baths, scented candles. It's all about learning how to allow yourself to rest, to set boundaries, and self-care isn't selfish. Reflection was a huge part of my year. I got to look back and think of what really matters. Plans that are put on hold, but that doesn't mean that our dreams and goals are canceled. Yes, we're still allowed to dream. We're still allowed to love, live, and thrive. We keep our faith and have strong hearts to move forward because life goes on, even if it's not the same as before and it's a whole lot different.